So let me
This
just
is
ask you a
mad.
question. Who do you think will be the most short driver?
The most short driver. Max Verstappen.
Definitely. I would shoot Max Verstappen if I was on the race.
But it depends who you give the gun to. This one I'll put it under open to testing. So not a yes, not a no for me.
I agree with that.
I agree.
I agree with that.
We need more green Formula One technology. Hello, welcome ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul and this is the Pit Window Open podcast. I'm joined by my boy Kev.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, and as you can see, we are here in the fresh. And yeah, we are about to discuss a very interesting topic this time round. After such a contentious battle last week, you know, we had our quiz and this guy won the quiz.
You can see the champ over here, huh?
As you can see, it's just, this guy has been cocky the entire week,
I'm
you
still
know.
waiting for my belt, yo.
Now we said our viewers will suggest.
It's just
We're still
the
waiting
prize.
for your suggestions, so
Yeah.
continue suggesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know what the champ should get
Yeah.
and what the last guy, you know. We're only two of us right now, but you know,
The last guy decided not to show
the
up,
last guy
guys.
decided to chuck himself out of this episode because he knew he was under pressure.
With a massive 6 out of 20. It was almost a 4 out of 20, guys.
Yeah, anyway, you guys will watch the episode. Is it here or there?
Yeah, somewhere.
Catch that quiz, it was fun. But yeah, after such an intense quiz today, we figured out we shall relax, you know, discuss a rather entertaining subject, and which revolves around what you do to make Formula One more exciting. Yeah, it's Kev. It's something which, you know, suggestions can go. You can suggest anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Everybody has his thoughts on what
Yeah.
they will do if they're in the position to make Formula One more interesting. In the position of power to make those decisions. What will you guys do?
Yeah.
You should share your comments on the comment section.
Yeah, make it fun, make it exciting, you know. We came across some very exciting suggestions.
Definitely.
Yeah, and we're gonna share them with you, and then we're gonna share our thoughts as well. And I was just you know, on the internet, and then Reddit. I came across some very interesting suggestions on Reddit. So it's not our opinions, but we shall share our thoughts on those opinions.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna read out the names, but you can go to Reddit
Yeah.
and check out those suggestions. I mean, when you think about Formula One, there's a ton of things we can, can be done.
Just off the top of your head.
Yeah, on the top of your head. When you're watching a race, you're like, oh, maybe they can do this, or oh, maybe they can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to give credit to the FIA. Those are the people who like create the rules and
The rules are
regulations.
there.
Yeah, they've tried to make the sport very entertaining, especially coming into this season in terms of changing the rules to enable more closer racing. You know, cars can follow each other more closely right now, overtaking, DRS and everything. So, I think we're gonna start. So these are just suggestions again from Reddit, and we're gonna share our thoughts.
So what's happening is you're reading people's suggestion that they put on Reddit, then you're commenting if it makes sense or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of these suggestions are crazy. Some of them are interesting. Some of them are really thought-provoking. Yeah. So we're just here to socialize with the F1 community at a large.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
What's suggestion 1?
suggestion 1. So this guy says the drivers have to use every car during the season. 20 drivers, 20 cars, 20 tracks. The driver change car every track, extracted randomly at the beginning of the season. So in other words, they're saying all drivers have to use all cars. We have 20 drivers, 10 teams, 20 drivers, all those tracks. So I think
So still the team go with the driver to
Yeah.
the car they're using.
Yeah, so you know you have your if you're Ferrari, you're
Yeah.
Ferrari. But in the beginning of the season,
Yeah.
maybe they have done this process, a random process or a random. Is it like a selection, like the way you see the way for football, the way they go to the UEFA
Yeah.
and do the balls like this?
Yeah.
So they say maybe
Ferrari will start
Ferrari,
at
maybe
Haas
Ferrari will use the Haas, maybe Camrys 1 or race 5.
Okay.
I think that's a good idea, you know.
That's a good idea. It will bring the equilibrium
Yeah,
to the sport.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
Because different teams have different, like,
Mm,
what's it called, financial strengths
yeah.
that they can. I think different teams have better chances
Mm,
going to the season
Yeah.
because of their financial strengths.
yeah.
But when each driver uses each car, I think it will bring. You'll actually get to see who's the better driver.
yeah.
That's the
In
thing.
terms of resources as well.
Yeah.
So in other words, I think this guy is trying to mean. Let's take for example Ferrari. Charles Leclerc is in a Ferrari, a very good Ferrari, or Max Verstappen, a very good Red Bull. So maybe they do that thing at the beginning of the season and they say, Red Bull, come British GP, they'll be racing with they'll be driving the Alpine. So I think it gives a chance for us to see maybe drivers who are in not stronger cars,
Yeah.
to see what they can do. So
Yeah.
Max Verstappen will be driving the Alpine, maybe come the British GP,
Yeah.
and we'll see Fernando Alonso in a Red Bull. So we're like, you know,
Yeah.
what will happen? Yeah, I think it's a good idea just to equalize the field a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
So they're still going their teams to the different cars, right?
yeah, so maybe you go with your team engineer
Yeah.
or with your so like the entire team shifts to the Alpine
Okay,
garage,
okay.
and then the entire Alpine garage goes to the Red Bull garage. It can be very interesting.
So I think it's a very good idea, but I'm still against it.
Yeah, it cannot work, unfortunately.
Uh,
It can't work.
can't work.
It can't work. After all those resources you put up, you know, to develop your
Yeah.
car, and then maybe you see, maybe during that race, maybe not during that British GP, for example, the Alpine doesn't perform as well, or
Yeah.
they have a DNF.
Yeah,
So the Red Bull guys will be like,
it's the car.
it's the car. You know, we built our own car, which is very good,
Yeah.
and so we are losing the championship because
Yeah.
of this one
But I
race.
think the name will change. It won't be like it's the car that's like it will be the team's fault because
Yeah.
it's not about cars anymore.
I think when they do that, they have to change the point system.
like the point system, definitely.
I don't know what they can do about that, but it's a wild idea, but I get the idea behind it.
So can I ask you a question? Like at the moment, do each team have a specific budget to develop their cars, or they just can go wild with it?
No, okay, depends with the teams. Some teams have really big budgets
budgets,
and resources. But now, what F1 did, what the FIA did, they put a cost cap,
Okay,
so you can only go
past
to a certain
amount.
to a certain amount, and then because teams like Ferrari and Mercedes, they have all this money.
Yeah.
It's like Manchester United and let's say Chelsea.
Yeah.
They can go wild at the transfer window.
And Arsenal, yeah.
And Arsenal and the teams like Leicester, Brighton, they can. So what they
Yeah.
do is like put a cost cap. You can only
Spend this much.
spend up to this much,
Yeah.
and then after that, you'll start having penalties,
Okay.
or you can be even disqualified. So that's yeah. I think that answers your question.
And that answers the question, see.
Yeah. So let me know what you think about that idea.
Yeah.
I think I get the idea behind it, but I don't think it's can be implemented given what these teams have to do to develop their own cars in the first place. It's a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of planning. And come to think of it, now if you go to a race, you have to use like FP1 to learn the car,
To run the car.
setup and everything.
Yeah.
It's so much work.
It's so much work. Come think of it.
Yeah. So point number 2. I think Kerry's gonna read this one. That is so good.
Yeah, this.
That is crazy.
I think before I read it, I just need to show this to you. I don't think you can see that, but make random exploding tires. This doesn't even make sense.
Make random exploding tires.
This doesn't even make sense.
That is so cynical.
I think this is the guy who's into gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been gaming a lot, and yeah.
He wants to take out that team.
Yeah, take out Verstappen.
Come to think of it,
Yeah.
Max Verstappen is boxing.
Yeah.
Oh, the Red Bull are coming in to pit Max Verstappen. But we don't know which tire is going to explode in a couple of laps. So let's wait, you're gonna see.
Have you ever watched the Hunger Games?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it will be the Hunger Games for F1, where someone is going close, they decide to nini him. I don't think that makes sense at all.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, we should just go to the next one.
Just a wild idea.
It's just a wild idea.
I think that guy, it's just like,
So if the tires explode, does he get a DNF?
exactly as a DNF.
Because they can't continue racing.
I think what they should have said is like maybe when the guy does something on that tire, the tire will explode. So the driver has to be really keen not to do that thing.
Like what exactly? Like
I
what
don't
can the
know.
driver do?
Maybe don't lock up the
Lock
tires.
up. Okay. Yeah.
That can be a rule. Like if you lock up the tires, this tire will explode.
You get a DNF.
Yeah, and you'll get a DNF. So don't lock up. What I mean by lock up for
Yeah.
those people who know is like you see, when you're those drivers on the F1, when they're driving those cars, sometimes they misjudge the brakes and they go so hard on the brakes and literally the tire will be flat spotted.
Yeah.
So it will just grind on the surface and it will flat spot.
If this applied to me in Ferrari, will have another DNF. Because I don't. Do you remember it was Sainz or Leclerc in Monaco? One of them locked up.
Yeah,
I
lockups
think it
happen
was
a lot of
but it was Sainz.
It's okay for lockups to happen during the practice sessions, but during the race,
It was actually during the race.
you're reading your tires.
So Ferrari will have another DNF.
Yeah.
This guy's rule applied.
So this guy's rule, I think you can implement it, but with another exception.
Yeah.
But it's not realistic at the end of the day. So no.
It's a no, definitely no for me.
Okay, let's go to point number 3. This is interesting. Okay, this is interesting. So less clothing on the grid and champagne girls or grid girls.
Yeah.
You see, they used to do that
Yeah.
a while back. Used to be these. It's like, what do you call those girls who cheerleaders?
Yeah. I guess that's
Oh, come on! Wait, don't see grid girls on the like cheering for the teams.
No, see, you said less.
No,
Yeah.
you said
You said less.
less clothing.
Oh, less clothing.
Less clothing, more exposure.
Oh. I had less cheerleading girls, so I was against that. Yeah. Less clothing, more.
Less clothing on the grid and champagne girls. So in other words, I think he's trying to say,
Shark porn and F1.
yeah, like he's trying to say like those cheerleaders.
Yeah.
So they're usually like less clothed.
Yeah. But you want more. Me, I agree with that.
Like you said, grid girls used to be a thing a while back.
Yeah.
I think in the 90s, maybe early 2000s, there used to be grid girls.
Yeah.
So it's like the cheerleaders. So maybe, I don't know, maybe Ferrari had their own cheerleaders, and those girls would be like this on the side of the track. And even when you go to the podium, they used to be like champagne girls.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. It's promoting inclusivity as well, gender balance. For real, the grid is so male dominated.
Yeah, for real. To be honest, yeah.
So yes,
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree with it.
I agree with that too.
We need more grid girls.
Yeah.
Formula One, take note. Yeah, that's a good point. So the fourth one is a bit technical. So maybe you can read this one.
make the DRS activate 2.5 seconds away from the person in front. But the closer you get to them, the more it closes. Once you are 2 to 3 feet away from the back of the person in front of you's car, it completely shuts. So actually, they're saying like the DRS should activate earlier.
Yeah.
At the moment, the DRS activates 1 second to the guy in front of you. Below a second to the guy in front of you. But the guy is saying make the DRS activate 2.5 seconds away. And then as you move closer,
as you go closer,
it closes down, and when you get to 2 to 3 feet,
Yeah.
it shuts down completely. This will make the race definitely more interesting.
You think so?
I don't think it will be safe, but I think the race will be more interesting.
Will it be able to overtake?
Yeah, if you activate the DRS like 2.5 seconds
Oh, that's
before,
interesting.
you close the gap, and the DRS closes, but you'll be already you'll be on the momentum.
Yeah.
So you know the rule
the
of
momentum,
physics, yeah.
yeah.
Once you gain momentum,
Yeah. But then
So,
it says
yeah.
once you close.
once you close the gap 2 to 3 feet away, so there'll be more crashes. I think. Yeah.
Personally, I think it will put. I think it will have an issue when it comes to overtaking. I think it will make
Definitely,
overtaking
yeah.
a bit harder
Yeah.
on the DRS, especially because
Yeah.
come to think of it, DRS is all about when that flap opens, it means
Yeah.
you have less air resistance.
Yeah.
So the car is just like once it closes and 2-3 feet is like here.
Yeah.
So once it closes, you lose that immediately. You'll be able to overtake this guy, and maybe this guy has already gone.
No, but
defensive.
you're already on momentum. You didn't have DRS,
Yeah.
so your speed is a bit more higher.
But I think that
Yeah.
when that flap is open,
Yeah.
when the rear flap is open,
Yeah.
and the guy has already gone defensive, I think it gives you an extra. It has to remain open for me.
For real.
Yeah, I think maybe what they should say is once you are at maybe tire to tire, maybe it closes.
But do you agree it will cause more crashes? If this
Yeah, it
happens?
will.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will.
So with this,
So you want more crashes to happen?
No. With this, with this person, if it was the P1 and P2 drivers, I agree. This rule should happen for the first 2 drivers, but not the rest of the pack.
Okay.
So that it will be a competitive. Getting to number 1,
Yeah.
it will be competitive. Yeah, and yeah, that's my opinion. I think this should happen for the first 2 drivers, not the rest of the pack. What's your opinion?
For me, I think when I look at it across the grid, I think it will have a negative impact on overtaking. So I think because I'm trying to think if when you're already on momentum and then you close that flap, you definitely lose. You definitely experience some air resistance. So that guy, maybe the driver in front has already gone defensive.
Yeah.
And then you lose an extra maybe speed boost. So I think it will affect
Overtaking.
And we want to see more overtaking, guys. But anyway,
We want to see.
I think
more.
it's something which can be tested.
Yeah.
This one I'll put it under open to testing. So not a yes, not a no for me until maybe you see during the pre-season testing when they go for test this shit out.
Definitely. So it's a yes for me. Open to testing.
Open to testing.
Okay.
Yeah, so let me read this one. It's a long one.
It's a long one. I can definitely see it.
So it goes like before each race, one driver is randomly chosen to start the race with a handgun.
Okay.
Handgun.
Okay.
That he may use during one lap only of the race to disable his opponents or their cars, or simply take pot shots into the crowd. If chosen driver makes it to the podium, he is then rewarded with a generous treacle sandwich.
Repeat that shit to me again.
So what he's saying is, before each race, one driver is randomly
okay.
chosen to start the race with a handgun, that he may use during one lap
Yeah.
only of the race to disable his opponents or their cars, or simply take pot shots into the crowd. If the chosen driver makes it to the podium, he's then rewarded with a generous trickle sandwich. More love for the sandwiches. Get set. So what he's saying? Is, like
one driver is giving a handgun.
Yeah.
Can shoot his opponent.
One lap only.
Yeah.
You have make the decision.
Yeah.
Take out your opponent.
Yeah.
Maybe shoot the tires.
Yeah. So each race, a different driver is giving the handgun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me
This
just
is
ask you a
mad.
question. Let me just. Who do you think will be the most short driver?
The most short driver. Max Verstappen.
Definitely. I would shoot Max Verstappen if I was on the race.
But it depends who
Yeah.
you give the gun to.
No.
No, if-
Unless you give it to
If you
Red
give
Bull's
it,
teammates.
if you give it to AlphaTauri, don't shoot the
Don't
Red
shoot.
Bull.
Yeah, they shoot the Red Bull. But come to Mercedes. Mercedes has how many? Like 4.
If you give Hamilton that shotgun, he's taking out Max Verstappen
Yeah,
in
Max
turn
Verstappen.
1.
Even if you're not in contention of the race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like for Ferrari, Ferrari feels like Charles Leclerc, that guy who wants to prove a point, so he'd be like, no,
Yeah.
I won't shoot Max Verstappen. Let me shoot maybe my teammate.
For real.
Or-
So he flexes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
for me it seems like Charles Leclerc, that guy who
Yeah.
wants to prove a point. Like,
Yeah.
I can flex on you without
Without,
shooting you, incapacitating
I don't
you.
need all this. Like,
Yeah,
I'm just better than you.
yeah.
Yeah.
What if you Max Verstappen is handed the shotgun?
I think Max Verstappen, I think, is after legacy, after
Yeah.
being the best. I think he'll just shoot Leclerc. Because that's his biggest competition this season.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I don't think Max Verstappen holds like team to team beefs. Him is who's he competing with this season. I think his beef with Hamilton is done. To really, that guy is after legacy. Yeah.
You should give the gun to Daniel Ricciardo.
He should shoot Lando.
You go and shoot that McLaren CEO, Zach Brown. Boom!
Yeah.
It's an interesting one, but I think this is more about in gaming. You can do this.
Yeah.
People who have done gaming, such things you can do. You know, take out other cars.
But definitely me, I'll take out Max.
Who would I take out?
That's me, Max. You're a friend fan. That's Max.
I'll take out Christian Horner, the Red Bull team principal.
He's been flexing.
He's so annoying. So let's go to the
Question number?
no,
This is 5 or
Yeah.
4.
5, 4, 6. I don't know. We lost track.
Get rid of qualifying make the grid order at the start of each race equal to the reverse of the results of the previous race. Okay. So this guy is saying you get rid of the qualifying and make the grid order. So when the race starts, the winner of the previous race starts at the back and the loser of the previous race starts at the front, and so on. So number 2 will start at P19, P19 will start at number 2, and so on.
Oh,
This is interesting.
It's an interesting idea.
I didn't thought of that.
it's like the principle of what they were trying to do. There's been this talk of reverse grid. Have you heard it?
I'm not yet,
Like
yeah.
reverse grid is like Formula One are trying to say. The person who finishes on pole starts during the race.
On pole during qualifying.
Yeah, during qualifying.
No, I don't think that's fair. Because people slack during qualifying.
But come to think of it,
Yeah.
not. It's like the way we have the sprint races.
Yeah.
During like 3, is it like 3 circuits this season, 3 races this season?
Yeah.
You can have. Already we've done one. Yeah. So it's like having a sprint race where first of all you go for the qualifying, then the
Yeah.
sprint, then
The race.
the race. So the reverse grid was like, I think you go for qualifying,
Yeah.
and then the person who finishes first starts. I can't remember.
But I think what this guy means,
Yeah.
at the previous race,
Yeah.
the person who finished first starts last.
It can be
But at
interesting.
first, you still get the point.
Yeah.
And you finish last because we
And
saw.
that can be very contentious.
I think
because-
that could be very
No,
interesting.
imagine if you're Red Bull
Yeah.
and you're winning this race,
Yeah.
because that cannot be for all races.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll say three races in a year, in a
Yeah.
calendar year.
Okay.
So if they choose those 3 races, and maybe now we are racing today, and najua next week ndio hiyo kitu ya nitaanza huko nyuma.
Yeah.
So this week you buy. So when you are going to win, unaweza kuwa like, oh, let me slow down.
But when you win, you get a particular price.
Yeah.
A
So what they
number
should
of
do
points,
is change the
point system.
point system.
Yeah.
That maybe on this weekend,
Yeah.
before now you go to the reverse grid.
Yeah.
On this weekend, if you finish number 1, maybe you get 30 points instead of 25, or maybe 35 points.
35 points. Yeah.
Yeah, and that. And for teams like Red Bull and Ferrari and Mercedes, teams who know they have the pace, they can
Yeah.
always begin from the back.
But I
and come
think
to the
that should be
wheel.
fair if. What was the? I think that would be fair if all the teams were standardized with the same cars.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be fair.
Cause if let's say the Alpines finish at P1
Yeah.
and start at P20, they finish at P20. Yeah, that will only work for Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull. These are
Yeah.
the teams I don't think it works for
Teams
them.
with the pace.
Yeah,
I think those teams with the pace would be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna finish first today,
yeah,
and then next week
I'm
I
gonna
know
finish, yeah.
I know I'm gonna start from number 20,
yeah.
but
I'm
I can make it maybe to the podium.
to the podium. Yeah, so I don't think that works for these other teams.
Now, okay, now when you're doing this, that's I can now see why it's so difficult to come up now with like these strategies of how you can make Formula One more exciting.
Yeah.
Because these are ideas.
So we'll read this guy's strategies then.
Yeah.
Me, I have my own idea and
Yeah,
read
yeah.
out on
Yeah.
your idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for Formula One, you have to respect those guys who make these rules. Because, for example, that as I was telling you, this sprint race. It's all about making Formula One more exciting, making it a bit more unpredictable,
Definitely.
giving the lesser
Less,
teams,
yeah.
quote unquote, a chance. Yeah, that's a very interesting comment. So the next one will be, just hold on a minute. About the virtual safety car. So this, here it is. So it says the VSC, or the virtual safety car, is truly an entertainment killer. Put a full safety car and change the rules so the lap count is neutralized under a safety car.
I will repeat it.
The VSC is a truly entertainment killer. So put a full safety car instead of a VSC, a virtual safety car, and change the rules so the lap count is neutralized under a safety car.
What does it mean? The lap is
Okay,
neutralized?
you see when you put a full safety car on,
Yeah.
the lap cars will have to
Zunguka another.
do another lap so they can come
Yeah.
up to where they were.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree with the first point where he says
The virtual car.
the VSC. For me, yeah, the VSC is an entertainment killer. I have to say yes to that.
Okay, from the phrasing, the virtual safety car is an entertainment killer. That's true.
Yeah, for me that's true.
You don't even have to mean it. It's
Yeah.
an entertainment
Yeah.
killer.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for you guys who might be wondering what the VSC is, the VSC stands for the virtual safety car. So in Formula One, we have the virtual safety car deployed in case we have an incident on the track which requires minimal intervention by the marshals, or we have, as in something which an incident which the marshals aren't in like direct danger on the track from the cars. So they put in a VSC. So during a VSC, the drivers have to slow down. You cannot overtake, and you have to follow the car in front of you at a certain speed. You cannot move beyond a certain speed. So you're put on a certain delta. And as we saw, was it in France, where you say that delta can be sometimes, the driver maybe you had crossed the gap from 3 seconds
Yeah.
to 0 point something,
Yeah.
and then the
The
VSC
is still
happens.
there. Yeah.
So that guy,
Um,
you've given this guy a breathing space, so you'd be like, let me try and
yeah.
increase that distance.
But at the same time,
Yeah,
with the VSC, we saw when George Russell
yeah,
overtook Sergio Perez. It's because of the VSC.
yeah, because of
Like,
VSC. Perez was
it's-
asleep.
Yeah,
Russell
Perez
was really keen.
yeah,
That
Russell
was
was
French
really
GP.
keen,
Yeah.
That was really interesting. So, with the VSC, depending on which team you support, it can go both ways. But I do agree it's an entertainment
It's an
killer.
entertainment killer. I prefer the
Yeah.
full safety car.
Yeah.
Because for the full safety car, those cars just follow the full safety car, and then during the restart, you see now those guys just
Yeah.
preparing to make a dash, make a go for it. Like as you guys can remember, Silverstone. You see what happened after the full safety car was so entertaining. But again, you cannot compromise on safety.
But what I think, if they make the cars more safe, I think at the moment they are really safe. But if they can increase that gap to increase the safety, where even if a car crashes the car that had stopped or something, I can agree with this point, because the virtual safety car kills the entertainment sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, for me it kills entertainment, but you have to. Formula 1 is all about safety at the end of the day.
Because it's a risky sport.
Yeah, it's a risky sport. The drivers have to be safe, the marshals have to be safe. So if the incident is something which can be cleared in less than a minute or 2-3 minutes, the virtual safety car makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I think it's an entertainment killer, yes, but I wouldn't jack it.
Actually, come to think of it, I did not come to think of it as a question. Is there a race that has gone without the virtual safety car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had races with no virtual safety car and with no safety car.
Yeah.
But it's usually boring now. Yeah, guys, as you've heard, we can spend the entire day here going through these points. But those are the points we're gonna leave you for now. It's been very interesting, very thought-provoking. So, Kev, I think at this point we're gonna share our points on how we think we can make F1 more exciting. I'm gonna start with you, Kev. Go.
For me, definitely, I think to make the F1 more exciting and more competitive, I think each team should have not a limit, should be given a certain budget. If it's $250 million per team, that's the budget. If it's $25 million per team, that's the budget. Each team should be given a definite budget to develop their car.
Equal or
Equal. If it's 25, it's 25.
Oh, interesting.
If it's 50, it's 50. If it's 100, it's 100.
So you think that will bring the field closer to
the because I think teams like Mercedes, Ferrari,
without the resources,
they got the resources,
the capital.
They can't compete with teams like the Haas. So each team should be given, because every driver in F1 has talent. It's talented.
You can't make it to F1 without talent.
Yeah, every driver is talented.
But unfortunately, I don't think that will.
For real?
It cannot work.
Why not?
Because in the first place, some of these parts which are made by these teams, for example, the Ferrari, you see when they go to their simulator and do all the testing, they can come up with a part, when they go to their drawings and they say they want a chassis which looks like this, they want the body design to look like this. So with the resources they have, the engineers and everyone, they can come up with a structure which is more expensive to build than this other team.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, this brings another question.
Yeah.
Do you think when it comes to F1, are the drivers to be given the credit when they win, or is it the team? or is it both?
It's both.
Yeah.
Because it takes an effort of both.
Yeah, it takes an effort. But I think when you equalize the effort of the teams,
Yeah.
it gets to show what the driver can do.
Yeah, and I think your point is very good because F1 are trying to do that by the Cost Cup.
Yeah.
Previously, we had teams like Mercedes and Ferrari just
Doing the most.
go all out.
Yeah.
It's like Manchester United
Yeah.
just buy everyone for, or Barcelona buy everyone for 130 million.
Yeah.
Coutinho,
Yeah.
everybody, Dembele,
Yeah.
just buy 130 million. 30. So I think that's what used to happen previously before the change of the rules.
Yeah.
But with this year, the Cost Cup limits that.
Yeah.
It's like the financial fair play in football,
Yeah.
where you have to show
A certain revenue stream before you
you have
start,
like the revenue streams. I think they are trying to do that so that they can bring the fields more closer. But in terms of like just ensuring, like all to be equal, I think that's a big contention. It's a big
But
contention.
the
It's
comments
cause you cannot allocate Ferrari
the same
50 million and allocate has 50.
Yeah.
I mean it's
It does, but me I was saying from a perspective of entertainment.
from a perspective of entertainment.
Yeah.
So I just think that these rules they are trying to enforce of spending, cost caps, penalties is a way to, because we are already hearing already we are hearing Red Bull, Christian Horner, the Red Bull team principal, is already saying they're already starting to feel the pressure of the cost cap.
Yeah.
Mercedes are already starting to feel the
Yeah.
cost cap,
Yeah.
the pressure of the cost cap, so they can feel it already.
Yeah.
So they cannot just go all out and blow everybody out of the water.
Yeah.
But it's a good point. I think more developments will come out of the cost cap, and as to his point. But it's a very interesting point.
Yeah. Definitely. So what's your point?
My point. My point, by the way, is very simple. I know most of you guys have thought about it, and it's been a big debate. Not just this season, even last season, even the season before last season. It's always been there. And I have to say it. Unfortunately, it will sound controversial, but guys, this is my point. Take Monaco GP out of the calendar.
No. Takes a lot.
No.
No.
What is exciting about Monaco GP? Tell me. It's only qualifying.
Yeah.
Qualifying is only exciting thing about Monaco GP.
Because the Ferraris.
No, it's not just about the Ferraris.
Yeah.
It's about, Monaco is this circuit where you're so close to the
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah.
If you make a slight
Mistake.
you're into the barriers. But come the race,
Yeah.
I mean, the circuit, it just I can't even mention one overtaking zone on the circuit. It just no overtaking zone.
So Monaco, it's a street GP.
It's a street circuit.
That's why.
And I don't know if it's because of the modern cars, they are large, and overtaking is so difficult in Monaco. The streets are narrow.
Yeah.
So the drivers are just following each other the entire race. I mean, we need some changes in that circuit. But that's the other thing. Monaco is such a compact city. If we enlarge the roads, I don't think it's a feasible solution.
Yeah, it can't work.
Changing the venue, I don't think it will work. But again, it's a dilemma. Monaco is such a historic circuit. They always say you can win every race, but winning in Monaco is special. It's a crown jewel of Formula One. Because of its historic magnitude and everything which comes with Monaco, winning in Monaco, the lifestyle, the celebrities, it encapsulates Formula One. But the racing itself, oh my god, the racing is dead. The racing is dead. Did you enjoy the Monaco? This season it was a bit exciting because of the rain
And
the Ferrari
fumbling.
fumbling.
The Ferrari doing what they always do. Yeah.
But anyway, you guys, I'm not. I hope you guys understand my point, right?
Yeah.
I just think the Monaco GP, they should do something about that GP.
But I think
you know?
like that's a more like reasonable point. Like the points that were giving out during the episode were a little bit more not reasonable. That's a more reasonable point. But do you think they can actually remove the?
Nah,
I don't think.
that's another thing. Like, I don't know.
Because your point actually makes sense, but I don't think they'll actually remove
I
them.
don't know, man. I think
Because I think
it's-
here when it comes to Monaco is one of the richest city in the richest.
yeah,
They're like the economy in Monaco is very good.
and it's a home race of Charles Leclerc,
Yeah.
Ferrari driver.
Yeah. So I don't think
It's a big contentious topic in Formula One. Should the Monaco GP remain or should it be? You know, I think it's past its time.
Yeah.
Is there any way they can improve that circuit? We can never say never when it comes to engineering and the design, but I just think for the modern Formula One cars, it's just killing the life out of Sundays, mate. Sundays are just so boring. And we're just watching that race. I watched Sergio Perez had a lockup in Monaco in P1. Carlos Sainz was just literally
Actually, Sainz had a lock.
here. Sainz was just here, and he could not overtake.
Yeah.
Seriously, guys. Anyway, from me, that's my take. Yeah, that's been a lot. Your boy Paul.
It's here, Kev with you.
Yeah, and that has been a very good. I feel like the points there, you can go on and on and on, but we can choose to do this for 2 hours. But unfortunately, guys, you're gonna have to cut it at this point. Share, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you would do to make F1 more entertaining. Give us the crazy points. Give us the more feasible points. Let us know. It's all about entertainment, sharing our thoughts, and keeping you entertained as well.
Yeah.
So Kev,
See you next time, guys.
peace.